it's probably the last warm day. We're going to be washing and waxing the car. We're actually going to be using a product called NuFinish instead of a real wax, but it's basically the same procedure. So let's start. We're going to be using a genuine Toyota wash and shine soap. Just open, put a little bit. That's probably enough. And we're going to put some water. Now I like this glove sponge kind of thing because it's right there on your hand. Don't need to hold it even. And you can switch hands and wash. Drop it in. And in the meantime, let's rinse the car. I actually waxed this glass and see how it bids off. That's what we're looking for instead of this. After washing it with the soap and sponge and glove, rinse it again until all the soap is gone. After rinsing it, take a towel and dry everything. Everything has to be dry. Now it's all nice and dry, looking shiny already, but we let it dry here a little bit. And then we put wax on it. I really care about the metal, but not really about the plastic. It's already cracked in few places, so I don't really care about it. All I care is to have the metal protected. And your lights. Also, it's important to wax your lights, because then the water will bead off and there will be less dirt on them. So while the car is drying, let's talk about waxes. In general, I like a real wax, but I think the real wax would have to be applied twice a year. I like this NuFinish because I can apply it once a year and it really lasts. I see the way the water beads off the paint and the windows. And by the way, it's not only for the paint, it's also for the glass. All the glass pieces you can cover with this NuFinish and the water will bead off nicely. The only downside of this NuFinish is that it's white. You see, I have a sponge here, but the rest of it is white. So if you can't get it off, the way it works is that you would put it on and then it will dry, and then you will take a towel and then you would just clean it off. And if you can't clean it off, like for example here, I don't know why it didn't clean off. Now it cleaned off. and it's probably from last year. It still was there from last year because I didn't apply this part yet. So things like this, like if you have a scratch or something, it will just, yeah, like here, if you have a scratch or here, this white will stay there and it will really show. So, and also like around the ladders there will be white that you can't easily take off. So that's the only downside of it. And like there are some scratches here, you probably can see a little bit in the sun, and this white stuff stayed there. So that's the only downside. And I think the real wax, Carnauba wax, will be more transparent, stay more transparent, and you won't notice these things. But yeah, I don't know, I prefer to have it done once a year rather than twice a year, and use the NuFinish. So enough talking, let's start applying it. Another thing is that ideally you would not want to apply car wax in direct sunlight, but it's not really that warm today. It's about 17 degrees Celsius, and it's sunny and it's a bit windy, so that's why I'm gonna still do it in the sun, in the direct sunlight, and just be quick about the sides that are exposed to the sun, because it's really not that warm here. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, and it's already probably the last warm day of the year. But if you live like in California and it's 30 degrees Celsius or something like that, definitely go into the shade. It's time to wax. Just put a little bit on the sponge and smear all over the place, and work with the little parts at a time, little areas at a time. Yep. Now wait for it to be dry. Now it's dry, and it dries really fast in direct sunlight, but it's not that hot actually. Now take a towel, any kind of towel will do, and just wipe it off, and it comes off just like that. It's like a little powder sometimes, but it will just fall off. And now it's ready, perfectly nice and shiny, and the water will bead off of it perfectly. Continue over the whole car, and you'll be done in no time. I also use it on your lights, because then the water will bead off of it. Small parts at a time. I don't really bother with the plastic, just where it's close to the metal I would do it, and where I see some scratches that I want to hide. This will hide a bit the small scratches, but otherwise I wouldn't go crazy on the whole plastic here. It's just for the metal, because plastic won't corrode. Another disadvantage of this NuFinish is that you see certain black plastic or rubber will turn white. Here's another advantage of the mirror. This black plastic is okay, but this one turned white, and there's nothing you can do almost. It will be like grayish, unless you polish it really, really nicely. This is how it looks like, and I'm just gonna continue with the glass as well. After a while your hand will get tired doing this, so switch hands. But you younger guys out there might have more stamina in this, if you know what I mean. This side is in the shade, so I actually did the whole side. And now I'm gonna wipe it down. I do the mirrors as well, and then they're nice, shiny, and the water beads off of them very, very nicely. Now I'm all done with waxing, and look at that paint job. Look at that shine. Except for that part on top where I did some rust repair and the broken bumper, it looks very nice. It's a 2009 Toyota, but you can't even tell the difference between the new and the old one if you take care of your paint job. Of course, rust never sleeps. I did some repair there, doesn't look very nice, but I didn't have time to buff it up, and the bumper needs to be replaced, and it was already replaced at some point because the color doesn't match. Here you can see it even on the video. If you look closer, you can see those white marks where you have some kind of a paint defects, when you have scratches and stuff like that. So that's the disadvantage of this new finish. But if you don't have those, look at this, it's going to be like a mirror. So go ahead and you can use the product NuFinish. I would recommend it just because it's once a year and I don't care about these little things. Go ahead, do it yourself, try it, let me know what you use, if you like it, and see you in the next one. This is what you're looking for. It's raining, I'm driving on a highway and I don't even need to use my wipers. It just beads off and runs away. And this is also what you're looking for. Beads of water. And once they accumulate, they just run down. You see how they run down? That's what you want. That's what that NuFinish gives you.